The numbers are stark. 14 motorcyclists have died on BC roads between March and May of this year. Now compare that to 5 deaths over the same period in 2025. That's nearly triple. And this comes a year after ICBC reported that motorcyclists are more than 3 times more likely to be injured or killed in a crash compared to other drivers. Motorcycles make up just 4% of insured vehicles in this province, but they account for 14% of road deaths. The BC Coroner Service is raising the alarm, and the province has just announced it's moving to introduce a new motorcycle licensing program. Well, joining us now to talk about these latest statistics is Ambrose Ho, motorcycle instructor and co-owner of Pacific Riding School in Surrey. Ambrose, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure, Jas. It's awesome to be here.
Now, 14 deaths between March and May, nearly triple last year's numbers for the same period. Now, you're on the front lines of rider training. When you see a number like that, what's your gut reaction?
My first gut reaction would be almost shock. Like, I'm surprised that there's this many deaths this early in the year. However, if you kind of stop to think about it for a second, there must be an external factor that may be creating the higher numbers. Mm-hmm. And one of my first thoughts would be, the current climate right now, gas prices. And we hear a lot of our students right now that they're getting into motorcycling because they're trying to save money, finding a new way to commute. So that could also be a contributing factor of the higher numbers and getting more new riders.
So in this case, you think it's new riders trying to save money, obviously don't have the experience as many lifelong riders, and so this, in your mind, it's not road conditions, but it's mostly riders in your mind. Your gut tells you that.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Now, you teach riders to manage their instincts and emotions when things go wrong. What's that actually mean in practice?
I think one of the quotes that drive that thought is something I picked up from another advanced riding school, and actually the SEAL team in the States. And one of the quotes is, you don't rise to the occasion under pressure. You actually fall to the highest level of preparation. And this quote really, really resonates with me and the kind of training that we do at the schools. It's awesome to get the operational knowledge and how to ride a bike, how to use the controls. And everybody knows how to do all this relatively quickly, and it's very easy. Lots of kids learn how to ride when they're really young. A big component that's missing from that is the self-control or that instinct and emotions that happen under stress. So, example, what happens if a car cuts you off, a dog runs out, mm-hmm. You come in too hot for a curve, there's gravel on the ground, a car slams on the brakes.
ICBC says the average age of a motorcyclist killed or injured in BC is 46, but the average age of a licensed rider is 56, so 10 years older. What's that gap tell you about who's actually dying on our roads?
I'm actually not sure what that number will represent. If I had to guess, a lot of younger people are joining. I think a lot of the younger people are joining the riding community now, mm-hmm. and the numbers are growing with the new generation, but there's still a lot of older generation of riders. So that's why maybe the numbers of licensed riders is still high at 56, because we still continue to ride into our 80s. I just met somebody that still rides at 90 years old. But the influx of new maybe riders coming in is within that, let's say, 20 to 46-year-old range.
To my understanding, I mean, this time of year you're expecting more motorcyclists because the weather is better. In regards to safety, though, how much of the responsibility for rider safety actually sits with car drivers, who obviously on the road as well, but this time of year more motorcyclists? I mean, how much of this is also just car drivers and non-motorcycle drivers also being cognizant of safety and their surroundings?
I think we all play a part or a role into the safety overall for motorcyclists and motorists in general. But I think the majority of the awareness and risk has to come from the motorcyclists because we have the most to lose. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to blame motorists and non-motorists for the motorcycle accidents. that happen to us, but being more aware of the hazards, being more prepared for the hazards as a motorcyclist, I think will really help reduce the injuries or accidents that can happen.
Are motorcycles today, and I'm completely ignorant of this, are they the same as motorcycles in the past? I know technology changes. Are they more complex, more complicated to ride now and drive, or are they similar to what they were before? I'm just curious with technology and everything else.
I think if we're talking in terms of safety and abilities or experience, that there's two parts. Motorcycles now are built with so much advanced technologies for safety, such as traction control, ABS, self-shifting, short shifting, anything you want to name it, it comes with motorcycles now. So that creates an illusion of skill because the motorcycle will fix a lot of your mistakes. The other half of this is the availability of nicer motorcycles, or maybe higher powered motorcycles available to new riders, and without the proper education, maybe just advice from friends and family. Yeah, don't get a smaller bike because you're going to outgrow it or get bored of it. So they might start on a motorcycle that's maybe a little bit more than what they can handle or should handle as a new rider.
Mm-hmm. The province just announced a new motorcycle licensing program, to my understanding. What does the program need to have in it to actually move the needle when it comes to reducing fatalities and overall safety?
I think the program should include a mandatory course. You have to take a mandatory course in order to get your motorcycle license, like any other dangerous skill you could pick up, like scuba diving or skydiving. Mm-hmm. And better education and maybe access to information for safety gear and what's available now to the public.
Do you think this is a blip at the end of the day, that the numbers and the stats will go back to sort of the norm, or do you worry that this is may become an ongoing trend in regards to fatalities and safety issues for motorcyclists?
I think this will be an ongoing statistics if nothing changes in terms of the licensing structure or taking mandatory courses.
And I'm going to assume the city is just busier as well. I mean, it's not just a Metro Vancouver issue, but the city is busier. People always are in a rush. I mean, that's part of the issue as well. We just seem to have much more, our lives are much faster, less patience. That's part of the issue as well, I'm sure, on the roads.
I think so. It could be a factor, and part of the awareness and strategic planning, let's call it, as a motorcyclist, does include that, right? That knowledge of there are more car drivers, there are more impatience, let's say, out there, and we have to pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm. If somebody was thinking about getting a motorcycle license, what advice would you give them today?
First step is don't buy a motorcycle until you've taken a course. Set aside a budget to have your safety gear as well included in taking a course.